Hello, my name is Patrick, and today we're going to be talking about temperature and how to assess it and interpret the data. So temperature is very important because depending on what your temperature is, it can affect certain things like your metabolism. And usually the temperature is good. It gives you indications of what is wrong with the patient. There's a lot of factors that can affect temperature, and that's pregnancy, diet, your exercise, menstrual cycle is another one. So if a temperature can be too high, that usually indicates that there's a fever of some sort. There's a few ways that you can test temperature as well. There's some common areas of testing temperature are tympanic, meaning your ear, oral, your mouth, axillary under the armpits, and rectal, obviously in the rectum. So today we're just going to show you how to assess temperature and then how to interpret that data. So there's a few devices that you can use when you're testing or assessing a patient's temperature. This one right here is just a standard electronic thermometer. So if you can zoom in so you can see the different settings. So for this one, you can just switch the settings. So right now it's set to oral, so obviously you're going to use the mouth. Then adult axillary is going to be under the armpit. And then there's pediatric axillary, so for a child you can use axillary temperature. So it's pretty straightforward. So whenever you're assessing it, you want to put one of these single-use covers or sheaths on, and then you'll assess the temperature, and then you can just pop this button and you can throw it away. So if you have another patient, you can just slide on another one of these, so it keeps it pretty clean at all times. To take oral temperature, make sure you place the cover onto the thermometer itself, and make sure you have the thermometer set to the oral setting. In order to take the oral temperature, instruct the patient to open their mouth and lift up their tongue. Place the thermometer under their tongue and then close their mouth. After a few moments, the thermometer will beep, recording the oral temperature. Usually oral temperature is around 98.7 degrees Fahrenheit. You can use this as a good indication to check for any irregularities in temperature. This is just a chart showing normal temperature ranges, so I mentioned oral before, but you can also see the axillary temperature around 97.6. In order to take axillary temperature, make sure that you have a sheath on the thermometer, as well as setting the device to axillary setting. Have the patient lift up their arm and place the thermometer under their armpit. Then have them lower their arm, and then have the thermometer read their axillary temperature. It will beep momentarily, giving you the temperature. There are many different factors that can affect temperature. Some of the most obvious ones are inflammations and infections, which obviously elevate the body temperature above the normal range, which leads to then a fever. Also, temperature may vary depending on certain pathological chronic conditions a patient might have. It is important when taking temperature that you always remove the single covered sheath and replace it with a new one before a new measurement. What we're going to do is gait speed. Gait speed is very reliable and very easy to do as well. You only essentially need two things, and that is a device to record the time, and then just the distance that you can record and have the patient walk on. Gait speed is very good because you can use it as early predictors for falling or hospitalization, as well as test the patient's functional ability, as well as their confidence in how much balance they have. For gait speed, usually you set up 20 meters of length. So the first 5 meters will be an acceleration zone. The next 10 meters will be the actual distance that you're measuring or timing, and then the last 5 will be a deceleration zone. For the next part, I'm just going to show you a 8-meter one. So the first 2 meters are going to be the acceleration zone. The 4 meters in the middle are going to be the actual distance that I'm going to time, and then the last 2 are going to be the deceleration zone. Setting up the gait speed test. So right now we're just going to measure 2 meters out for our acceleration zone. So Taylor, how do you place a cup there? Thank you. We're going to move this down. Can you move that back? All right, there we go. All right. So this is the 2 meter acceleration zone. So now we're going to move this down. One more time. So this is the 4 meters right here. We're going to actually measure the distance. How many you want to cup?
No, take away this one.
So this is all set up. So we have the 2 meter acceleration zone over there. These 2 cups in the middle are going to be the actual 4 meters where we're going to record the time. And then these last 2 meters over here are going to be the 2 meters for deceleration. The therapist will ask the patient to either walk in a comfortable walking pace or a fast walking pace. You will then record the time it takes to walk the 4 meters. You always want to make sure that the gait belt is on the patient when they are performing this gait speed test. After you perform the 3 trials, you want to get the average of those 3 trials, and then you want to take that and divide it by the meters that was walked, in this case 4 meters. Then you can use relative norms to predict if the patient would be at risk for a fall or any other sort.